Hey there, it's great to have you back, here to level up your cooking skills with me, Kanan Badalov. Lately, I've been pondering what kind of dish to make today, something grand and out of the box, or maybe even a bit wild. But you know, I've settled on something simpler, yet ultimately flavorful and delightful. I've picked up 2 fantastic beef ribs that I'll be roasting in the oven with various herbs. These aren't just any ribs, they're the perfect cut to bring out bold flavors and melt-in-your-mouth texture. Let's make something unforgettable. Look at these guys. Every time I see them playing, I feel like joining in too. If you've got cats, you know they're a bit more independent, but with dogs, you're never short on playtime. This is the ideal heat level for our ribs to cook just right. See that flame in the oven? That's exactly what we need to create that rich, slow-cooked flavor. And hey, I hope you haven't forgotten to subscribe to the channel. Don't just watch, join the journey. And of course, don't forget to like the video. Go ahead and click that button. Take a look at these beef ribs. If you notice that thick layer of fat, that's what's going to give them an incredible rich taste as it melts down in the oven. Now, as I cut, I'm trimming away some of the white connective tissue nestled between the meat layers and taking off a bit of the excess fat. It's all about finding that perfect balance, enough fat to add richness without overwhelming the dish. You can almost hear that satisfying sound as the knife goes through. These ribs are going to be incredibly tender. All right, you can have your share. My dog's been giving me that look the entire time. Now, if you're aiming for that melt-in-your-mouth texture, there are a few ways to get the best out of beef ribs. A long slow roast in the oven works wonders, or if you're in the mood for barbecue, a good smoke over low heat is unbeatable. How do you like to cook your beef ribs? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your go-to methods. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You'll get daily insights into traditional Azerbaijani cuisine, along with fresh twists on beloved classics. Come join me there for even more inspiration. Let's grab a few sprigs of rosemary from the garden. This little herb works wonders on meat, adding an aromatic punch with its earthy, pine-like flavor. And we can't skip the bay leaves. They're a must for any slow-cooked dish like this. These leaves release a subtle, slightly floral taste as they simmer, helping to deepen and round out the flavors of the beef. Now for a sprinkle of salt on these ribs. We're not just salting here, we're giving this meat the kind of special treatment it deserves. Think of this step as building the base flavor. Here's where the pepper comes in. A good pepper rub gives beef that extra kick, making each bite feel layered with flavor. It's not just a seasoning, it's a must-have for beef because it complements the meat's hearty richness and adds a touch of spice. And a splash of olive oil. This'll keep everything juicy and help those flavors sink right into the meat. Now, let's massage salt, pepper, and oil into the meat to get the most flavor. By the way, where do you go when you need cooking inspiration? That's right, YouTube and me. But first, my friends, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. As I wrap these ribs snugly in baking paper and foil, I'm sealing in all the goodness. This tight wrap is what gives the ribs that melt-in-your-mouth tenderness, trapping in steam and flavors as they slow cook. All wrapped up, time to get the oven set just right for these beauties. And in they go. Now the wait begins.
Guys, we need at least 3 hours.
We've got about 3 hours, so let's take a little break. Perfect time to brew some tea. These roots here, Probably apple roots have a mellow, earthy taste when brewed. Adding a bit of root to tea gives it a subtle grounding flavor. We'll just give them a rinse and smash them a little before adding to our pot. Root tea has its perks. Apple roots, for example, add mild, woodsy notes and can have some calming grounding benefits. Just make sure to clean them thoroughly before brewing. All right, hot water's in. Let's let it steep for 5 minutes. Ah, just right. Warms you right up. Nothing like it on a cold day. This tea's got that earthy touch from the roots, and a sugar cube melts in perfectly, adding a bit of sweetness that's just right for a chilly day.
Hot tea is best for this cold day.
Looks like we're good to go. You waited so patiently, little one. Now it's time to dig in and enjoy. Just look at that. The ribs are so tender that they practically slide off the bone with a simple nudge from the fork. The juices have mingled with the fat and herbs, creating this rich, buttery finish. Here, try a bite. Let me help you with that. Careful, it's still nice and hot.
Вкусно? Ne salam Melek?
Now that's what I call perfect ribs. Rich, tender, with that rosemary and bay leaf hint running through. Nothing beats homemade like this.
Kompot хоч?
A homemade juice alongside this meal is the perfect match. Refreshing, brings out the flavors, and keeps things balanced. Just rounds everything out beautifully. Gotta make it look as good as it tastes. Simple, rustic, and ready to share. Now look at this glorious fat. It's golden and crisp, holding all that flavor like a juicy package. That's where the real taste lies. And now, a quiet moment to savor. I'm Kanan Badalov, and it's been a pleasure cooking with you today. Until next time, keep the joy of cooking alive and keep creating dishes that bring people together.
Guys, it was very juicy, tender, and very yummy. Try it. If you like, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Salam Melek.